What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is going to be another MLB's original reaction. I've really enjoyed these so far. Very insightful, straight to the point. And today's question is actually quite an interesting one for somebody who doesn't know the differences and why it's split. Why are softball and baseball different sports? I don't know. I have absolutely no clue. Let's get straight into it, guys. I'm going to hopefully learn something. I hope you guys learn something as well. But you probably already know. But maybe it'll give you the reasoning behind why it's different, if you already know why it's different. I assume you guys do know why it's different. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. I'd really appreciate it. Hit that like button as well, you absolute legends. And let's check it out.
The last time baseball and softball were in the Olympics, iPhones didn't exist. Facebook was only for college kids. No one had to pretend to understand NFTs.
Oh, I still don't get them.
But now they're back, and it's time to address something.
Okay.
Not just about the summer games, but sports in general. Soccer, men and women.
Yep.
Swimming, men and women. Tennis, men and women. Yet, baseball and softball, they're two different sports.
Okay, so I'm assuming women don't play baseball then, and they just play the softball. That's what I'm assuming from that. Which again, I didn't really think about, to be honest, and I don't think we ever spoke about it on this channel before. Yeah, so softball is for women one, baseball is a men one, assuming to this, and we're going to find out why. We'll see. That seems to be the way.
So, quick question. Why are baseball and softball split up by gender? The quick answer is they aren't.
Oh, okay.
It's the biggest game in the country.
Other than at the highest levels, softball is the most widely played recreational sport in the United States.
Oh,
across
wow.
Gender lines. And baseball isn't and never has been just for men. First, the basics. Softball's got a smaller footprint than baseball,
Okay.
and the games are shorter too. Softballs are also bigger than baseballs. And of course, the major difference, in baseball, pitchers throw overhand, or sidearm if you're like that. In softball, pitchers always throw underhand.
Oh, wow.
But how did softball even become a sport? Hold on to your stuffing. We're going back to Thanksgiving Day, 1887.
What?
Softball began as indoor baseball in 1887, invented by a fellow named George Hancock.
Hancock grabbed a boxing glove to use for a ball, and the batters use a broomstick to tee up.
Oh, wow. So I'm assuming, okay, something in my head, it's because it's indoor, you've got a lot less space, which is why the boundaries are a lot shorter. You don't want to be able to hit as far, so if it's underarm, it's less powerful, I'm guessing. But then it's also easy to hit as well, and you got a bigger ball. I don't know where the bigger ball comes in. I don't know where that does come in. Maybe because it's bigger, it's not as hard, so if it hits a structure indoor, then it's not as bad. I don't know about that one, but I think I know about the underarm, because then there's not much enough pace on the ball for you to be able to hit as far, so the boundary's challenging still. I think. I may have just waffled completely there.
A new sport was born. As time passed, the game grew in popularity because you didn't need as much space for it, and you could even play it inside. At first, people called it a lot of things. Kitten ball, pumpkin ball, and mush ball for the size and swish of the ball.
It evolved into a game played outdoors, and by 1926, a YMCA official called it softball, and the name stuck.
In 1933, rules were codified, and the first national softball tournament was held as part of the Chicago World's Fair.
Oh, wow.
Early softball was actually mostly a men's game. But then again, most games were. 19th century society discouraged women from playing public sports of pretty much any kind.
Yeah, mad times back then. They were moving mad. Again, we're not going to get into the history, but that we all know.
And look at the fits. Would you want to play in that? Nevertheless, women started knocking down barriers across the sports world. As the most popular sport in America, women naturally gravitated towards baseball. By the 1890s, there were all-women teams.
Look close, folks. This is not softball, but real Major League-type baseball.
Oh, wow.
And during World War II, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League was founded, forever remembered in the legendary film A League of Their Own. A handful of women even played professionally in the Negro Leagues. Trailblazer Toni Stone played for 4 different teams over 5 years, becoming the first woman to regularly start on a big league team in 1949. Mamie Johnson and Connie Morgan followed her in 1953 and 1954, respectively, both joining the Indianapolis Clowns. Despite the success of these icons, they were outliers in a man's world. In most places, girls were not allowed to play youth baseball,
Okay.
Without the pipeline, there were few women at the higher levels. As long
Which
as
makes
little
sense.
boys were trained to play sports and little girls were told not to.
Exactly. When I said it makes sense, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it makes sense. If you're told not to as a little girl, you don't get that training. Like a lot of these professionals have been training since they were 5, have been wanting to do it, and you've got to develop that skill over time. So if you're being told from a young age where you don't have the option, definitely understandable, but hardly anyone made it.
It would stay that way. All that changed with Title IX in 1972. The Supreme Court ruled that colleges must provide equal education to men and women, not
Awesome.
discriminating, quote, on the basis of sex.
That's pretty cool.
That
I like
meant
that.
if there were sports scholarships available to men, they also had to be available for women. It's impossible to overstate the impact this ruling had on women's sports.
Oh, it's been huge,
All of a
wasn't it?
sudden, every university in the country had dozens of full rides exclusively for female athletes. Colleges added programs for women's basketball, soccer, and dozens of other popular sports. Youth leagues exploded across the country to train young girls to one day land a coveted sports scholarship.
Yep.
But with baseball, things played out differently. In the wake of Title IX, Little League launched a companion softball program targeted at girls. Girls across the country faced a tough choice: be the only girl on a baseball team or play softball.
Okay, that makes
Overwhelmingly,
sense.
the social pressure pushed girls towards softball, and universities followed suit, setting up programs for that instead of baseball. Title IX and the events that followed inadvertently created the notion that women shouldn't play baseball. Not great. But on the other hand, softball exploded, and that is worth celebrating. The game evolved from a friendly adaptation of baseball into a wildly competitive sport in its own right, complete with its own culture, unbelievable athletic feats, and legendary champions.
Awesome.
Softball stars have been doing things baseball players couldn't dream of for years. Icons Bertha Raganticki and Joan Joyce helped revolutionize the sport in its early days. Both women racked up more than 750 career wins. To
Wow.
be clear, that is over 200 more than Cy Young's career wins.
I mean, you just got to say fair play. They obviously absolutely dominated.
Yeah, the guy the pitching award is named for. In today's game, you can catch Monica Abbott on the mound. No big deal, but she's the fastest softball pitcher on record.
Yo, they get
When
that
you
going,
adjust
that
for
softball.
distance, her ball crosses the
Wow.
plate faster than a Jacob deGrom fastball. In fact,
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Again, my whole thing about Under Armour going slow is out the window completely. That's going rapid, man. Under Armour as well, you just got to say fair
Baseball
play.
players throughout history have made a habit of striking out Major League Baseball players at charity events and exhibition games. In 1931, Jackie Mitchell struck out Babe Ruth. In 1966, Joan Joyce struck out Ted Williams. Yeah, the guy who literally wrote the book on hitting.
Oh,
He would go on to
wow.
say she was the greatest pitcher he'd ever faced. And just to show it wasn't a fluke, in 1978, Joyce struck out Hank Aaron too. Jenny Finch famously followed in these footsteps a little more recently, punching out Barry Bonds and Albert Pujols. Softball players continue to push the boundaries of the sport, setting and breaking records, making new traditions, and saying goodbye to old ones. And that is pretty much how the Olympics ended up with men's baseball and women's softball.
Wow, fair
But
play.
that doesn't have to be the end of the story. Today, there is a growing movement for girls to play baseball.
Okay.
Kim Ng thinks there will be a female baseball player in MLB at some point. Women can bring the heat on the softball diamond and stake their claim in baseball. And you don't have to be either team baseball or team softball. Both are incredible games, each with their own rich history. You can also catch co-ed softball leagues in many towns and cities across America, where people of all genders enjoy getting outside and playing the sport, often just as much for the game as for the post-7th inning beers. Softball is a game for amateurs as much as for pros, for all genders. As challenging for Ted Williams as it was for Joan Joyce.
Yeah,
As long as you're having fun on the field, that's all that matters.
exactly. As long as you guys had fun watching this video, that's all that matters. It's the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. There you go. We now know that it was not really on purpose and it was never labelled out to be a men's and women's two different sports. It kind of just went that way. But the times are changing apparently, and it may happen sooner than we think. And it's absolutely awesome to see. End of the day, if you're good enough to compete in whatever league you want, then go for it. Shoot for what is it? I think it's shoot for the moon, land in the stars, something like that. Why not? I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I really have. If you have, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. You absolute legends. Let me know what else you want me to react to in the comments below. I hope you guys are enjoying the Olympics as well. I mean, I don't know what time it is on for you guys, but for me, it is quite late. Obviously Tokyo, and to be fair, it might be even worse for you guys. So I'm trying to catch as much as I can, but it's quite hard to see it when it is happening so late. so early for me because Tokyo's ahead, if that makes sense. Time distances are an absolute nightmare, but I am enjoying what I do get to see of it, and I hope you guys are as well. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and have a fantastic day, guys. Peace.